The steel body superstocks are perhaps the most identifiable class to the crowds that come calling for speed on the track in the Upper Merrimack region. This is the last chance to claim valuable points on a long season of elimination racing. And one man's dream machine is about to become the rest of the field's worst nightmare. Welcome to the Show Me State once again as you look down a very empty pit lane here in Steelville, Missouri at the Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags on Booker Farms. That is because all of the competitors are over in the hot pits, in the staging area, getting ready for action. Today we bring you the Superstock division, these steel body clodhoppers ready to go for elimination racing. They will qualify, set the pace, and then they will go side by side and eliminate until we get down to two. Those two will face off until there's one winner, and there is one truck leading the charge into this final weekend of racing. And it's a guy who's had a great season so far, save for a couple losses and an injury that he suffered. Jason Hoskins leading the points. A non-race involved injury took him out of the seat down in Gore Springs, Mississippi, the second time we were down there. And it's a two-way battle for the top, a 10-point lead over Clayton Olcott. That's the battle we'll be watching here today. But you can see Garrett Williams, Kevin Stockwell, and Daniel Carehair all sitting up in that top five. There are two guys you don't see there that could very well jump up onto the top five board. First, though, getting into qualifying action, there's Garrett Williams out of Shawneetown, Illinois, the bright green Hog Wild Chevy stepside, going toe-to-toe with a very powerful Jeep out of Red House, West Virginia. That is David French and Repercussion. He has been a thorn in a lot of sides this year. Nice straight pair of passes to set the stage here in qualifying for the Superstocks. A 3:08 with a 2, a 3:38 with a 2 for Williams. So 3/10 separate those two at the finish line. As we bring our second pair up, there is the guy in the big blue Ford out of Spalding, Nebraska, Daniel Carehair. He also runs a car in the modified division. He took a win the last time we were down in Gore Springs, Mississippi on the 200-foot track. And a guy who can definitely get the job done here against a very powerful little blue Chevy S10 on the far side of the track. That is Clayton Olcott out of Burwell, Nebraska. Another Husker on the line. 96 Chevy S10. 615 cubic inch big block Chevrolet in the front of that one. Taking on the only Ford in the field right now. Problems evidently for Daniel Carehair. Clayton Olcott will go on with a 3-2-3 with a 7. So Olcott will move into second place over Garrett Williams right now, but we see parts sitting on the ground behind the troublemaker Ford. In fact, if you look down underneath the vehicle, you can see a U-joint hanging down. I do believe he dropped the rear drive shaft, may have yanked it right out of the rear end, but you're watching it on the starting line. It went quick. You can see him trying to pedal it again, and it just will not get speed. Watch again. You'll see the rooster tails out of the rear tires, and then they will go away, and the fronts will be digging like crazy. There you see it right there. Clear indication of drivetrain damage, and we get word it was definitely the rear drive shaft that went away on that run. In fact, there you can see it spinning around underneath of the only Ford in the field. He may be going on the trailer here. I doubt they're going to get that fixed in time to come back for eliminations. Now, Mud Diablo out of Jackson, Missouri. Home state hero right there. Hunter Sissom. Big Bad Blazer going side by side with Cody Snodgrass out of DeWitt, Iowa. That wild-looking 91 S10 that is sitting right on the outer edges of what is allowed in the super stock class. We'll see how he does here. He had a pretty successful run down in the Bluegrass State on the 125-foot track. Let's see what he does on 200 feet of Show Me State soil. Williamson off the starting line for Sissom runs a 3.6. Snodgrass with a 3.10 with a 7 to move into the number 2 spot. Watch again. Sissom coming off the line with a lot of bouncing, and that hurt him on his way down through toward the finish line. Here comes your points leader out of Rising Sun, Indiana. He was your runner-up in 2021, Jason Hoskins. Beautiful pass, not going to get him to the top of the field. A 3.28 for Hoskins, though, will set him in the top 5 as we now will set the field for round 1 of racing. Here's a look at the times. David French all on his own there with a 3.08. Then Cody Snodgrass with a 3.10. Clayton Olcott, Jason Hoskins with the stockist, a super stock, sitting here at a 3.23 and a 3.28. Garrett Williams with the 3.38 with a 2, rounding out the top 5. And I hate to say we did receive word that the Nebraska Ford Troublemaker will not make it back to the line. But we do have super stock eliminations coming up when we come back to Steelville, Missouri. Stay with us.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com. Your high-performance fix on the go.
Welcome back to the Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags on Booker Farms. I want to thank Greg Booker and crew for the hospitality here this weekend, keeping the track nice and groomed as we get underway under beautiful conditions with round 1 of the only eliminator class in the MRA. David French and Hunter Sissom will be our first matchup. Got to give the nod to French on that one. Garrett Williams and Cody Snodgrass down the middle of the field, and then what may be the most important pairing of the weekend, maybe of the year, 1 and 2 in points, that being Jason Hoskins and Clayton Olcott, will round out round number 1. And as you saw, Daniel Kerr did indeed not make the field after drivetrain damage. There you see repercussion of David French, that great big 600-plus cubic inch big block Ford built by VZ Race Engine, side by side with Hunter Sissom, the home state hero, the 91 Blazer with the 632 cubic inch big block Chevrolet built by Ring Racing and John Conkle. We will see. Can he upset the Jeep? A little bit of a wild ride there for French. Even though Sissom got the jump off the line, it will be David French taking the win. Sissom, you can see, out of the hole first with a 0.1 advantage there. David French, though, at a 3.13 to a 3.54, give the Jeep the nod into the next round. Again, kind of riding a fine line of what's allowed in the class, but look how far off to the left he got. Had to reel the thing back in. We saw a little bit of that last night. We'll see if it continues to be a problem here this weekend, but hopefully not now, as Garrett Williams rolls out the Illini and the 83 K10 with the 632 cubic inch Ring Racing power plant, going toe-to-toe with Cody Snodgrass out of DeWitt, Iowa. That's that 91 Chevy S10 home-built chassis with the big, bad John Conkle race engine in the front, a very popular name in the class when it comes to engine builders. Very, very close at the end, but you see it right there. Once again, the right lane has to drive around him on the big end. Cody Snodgrass with a 3.11 with a 3 to a 3.36. Again, Williams out of the hole first. Snodgrass just caught him on the top end of the track. So now come into our final pairing. There you see Clayton Olcott in the bright blue Chevy S10. Out of Burwell, Nebraska, 615 cubic inch big block Chevrolet. Going side by side with Jason Hoskins with the 643 cubic inch big block Chevy built by Bischoff Engine Services out of Dearborn, Indiana. The Hoosier in the big bad step side. On the far side of the track, and Clayton Olcott first and second in points, going toe-to-toe in round number 1. They were together on the end, but it does look like the left lane is going to finally pull out the victory. Jason Hoskins does indeed go into the semifinal round, a 3-2-3 to a 3-2-8. So some very close running in our first round of competition. There you see the pairings, or one pairing going into the semifinal round, as David French will pick up a bye run after defeating Hunter Sissom. He will race the winner of the Garrett Williams-Jason Hoskins matchup. And there are 3 guys there who would love to get a shot at each other. We are not done yet, though. We still have the semifinals and the championship race and the crowning of our points championship when we come back to Steelville.
This is more than mud. This is hallowed ground, where legends are born, carnage is wrought.
The Terrell Jones Memorial Scooby-Doo Fastest of the Fast returns to Sanford, April 7th and 8th. The wildest hill and hole action in the country. Unlimited DOT classes compete, along with the quickest, fastest machines of the fast track and the gnarly nitrous shootout and blown alcohol madness. 2 full days, multiple classes, intense competition. The Terrell Jones Memorial Scooby-Doo Fastest of the Fast. Coming to the Lee County Mud Sports Complex in Sanford, April 7th and 8th.
We are back on the line at the Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags with the Superstock division continuing on. David French now getting ready to take a bye run here in the semifinal round. He got there by virtue of defeating Hunter Sissom in round number 1. David French, a guy that both Garrett Williams and Jason Hoskins would love to get a shot at right here on 200 feet of Show Me State soil. Nice straight pass there for French. 3:05 with an 8. He's looking good still in the class, down in the 3:0s. As he will continue to be tough to beat. He ran a 3:08, I believe, in the qualifying session, a 3:13 in round 1, and now he runs a 3:05 with an 8 here. As Garrett Williams rolls up to stage, a pair of nearly identical Chevy step sides on the line. The 83 Chevy going side by side with the 85 Chevy. Let's see, will it be Hoskins or Williams? 2 good friends in the sport. But once the helmet goes on, that friendship goes out the window. Here we go. Who will meet French in the finals? Very close on that one. It will be Jason Hoskins taking the victory by 1/10 of a second. He picks up the win and moves on to the championship race against David French, and that's right where he wanted to be the whole shot, going to Williams. But Jason Hoskins drives around him, coming to the finish line, putting the horsepower down on that big, bad Bischoff race engine. In the step side, Your Nightmare Chevrolet. Here you see the times coming into this round. David French with a 3:08 in his qualifying run to a 3:28. So a 2/10 of a second lead on Jason Hoskins there. Then it was a 3-1-3 to a 3-2-3, 1/10 up on Hoskins, and then coming into this round again goes back to a 2/10 of a second lead. So Hoskins is going to have to go some or be perfect on the light and straight all the way down to try to take out David French. Now, the last time we saw these guys meet on 200 feet of soil was down in Gore Springs, Mississippi, but it was Jason's father, Jerry, at the wheel when Jason had an injury, and Jerry still took it home, but David French beat him on this qualifying pass. You can see Repercussion got Your Nightmare again on that run, and it was by around 2/10 of a second there as well. So that was Jerry Hoskins at the wheel. Jason, who has been battling with David French year in and year out here on the MRA Tour, would love to take him down right here. He's pretty well wrapped up the points championship, but he would love to walk out of the 2022 season with the victory aboard Your Nightmare. This is going to be a hold-your-breath run for both of these guys. Hoskins has got to get French out of the hole to have any hope of winning on this final battle of the season. It looks like a hole shot and a victory for Jason Hoskins. 3.24 to a 3.27, and it was 0.10 to 0.11. A hole shot for Jason Hoskins gets the job done. The big Chevrolet knocking down the Ford-powered Jeep here at the final super stock race of the season. Your Nightmare, not only the points champion, but he takes a very important victory in front of the crowd here in the Show Me State. Watch it again on the end and keep your eyes on the Jeep on the right of your screen. Look how far over to the left-hand side of his lane he got. So we wrap things up. So we take a look at the final points totals for the year. Hoskins by 120 points after your two worst scores get thrown out takes the victory over Clayton Olcott, who gave him a good battle. Garrett Williams, David French, and Daniel Kerher rounding out the top 5 in super stocks. Well, Jason Hoskins, last time we were here, we were talking to you about whether or not you were going to get this points championship. You win the race and you win the points.
Yes, sir. It's been a long, hard year. We've kept the truck running pretty good. I've got a couple people that have been backing me, BES Racing Engines and Snafu Racing Team. We've got this truck running really well.
It seems like the place to be. This track was pretty good to everybody last time they were here, and it seems like you can really leg it on the other end. There's a ton of shutdowns.
Yeah, that's one thing good about this place. I mean, you got a ton of shutdowns, so you don't. If you start getting out of shape, you can actually hold into it a little longer and ride it out. Most places we run, you don't have that option.
And we'll look forward to seeing you again in 2023.
Yes, sir. We'll see about that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep going at the rate I'm going or not. These are long trips.
Well, hopefully we'll see you at a couple of them.
I'm sure you will.
Some great racing, probably some of the best we've seen all year long in the super stock division as we get our proper Saturday night action underway here in Steelville, Missouri. We are not even close to done. We still have super stocks, renegades, opens, and mods yet to go. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.